It's match day, and it's a huge game for Aberdeen today as they travel to Tynecastle to take on Hearts in the early kickoff in Edinburgh. A win today, we finish third, and we qualify hopefully for a European spot playoff place, depending whether Celtic can win the Scottish Cup. That is how we sit today. A win today, 8 points clear. We all know what is at stake today at Tynecastle. Good morning, how are you doing? A very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Saturday morning here on YouTube. It's the game of the season, as far as I'm concerned. It's a massive game. Let's get straight into it because the team has just literally dropped in the past couple of minutes and it's bad news. So Duke is missing. Ross McCrory is still not back. So 3 changes from last weekend's game against Hibs. Connor Barron, Marley Watkins and Jayden Richardson all come in, which means Duke, Hayden Coulson and Ryan Duncan all miss out. So how do we see it panning out today? What will the formation be? Could we go with 3-5-2? Could Jayden play where normally Ross plays? Will Connor Barron sit just in front of that 4 in midfield with Marley Watkins playing just in behind Bojan Majowski? Tell me what you think will be the formation today, but I reckon we could play something like this. Barry Robson has spoken ahead of the game. It's how you see pressure. Pressure is a good thing. Pressure makes you play well. We are under pressure. They're under pressure. Just go and enjoy the game. Would I rather be in our position than Hearts? Yeah. But we need to go and prove it, and we need to go and perform well. We need to go and play well to try and get a result down there. That is what Barry Robson has said in his press conference ahead of today's game against Hearts at Tynecastle. So what I'm looking for you guys to do is get in touch as normal here on YouTube under the video. Leave your comments. Tell me how you're feeling ahead of today's game. I have to admit, and I don't like admitting it, but I'm nervous ahead of today's game. I hope last week was just a little blip, that we've got it out of our system, that Barry has reinvigorated the team this week in training, and we can absolutely kick on from next week because we all know what is at stake. But 3 changes, just to confirm. Connor Barron, not played for a long time. Marley Watkins, Jayden Richardson, not played for a long time. All coming in. So Duke, out. He's missed the game due to that hamstring issue. Ross McCrory still recovering from surgery. And Ryan Duncan and Hayden Coulson dropped down to the bench. So that is today's team lineup. So we've still got plenty going on in the show today. A little bit later, got a little sound bite from Harold Stavrum, our former striker who was with us for a couple of seasons back in the late 90s to early 2000s. I've done a Begs Banter with him, so I just thought I'd bring you a little soundbite just to tease the show that's coming out this week. And we've got our usual bits and pieces on the show today. But I thought what we'll do is let's get straight into your comments. Now that you know what the team is, let's see what you're thinking about today's team. So let me open the page first and foremost. Okay, wow, nearly 100 of you on today. Amazing, thank you so much. Okay, can't be bothered to say good morning to everybody. Hopefully a much improved performance today. Good to see Babbage signing an extension, but not so happy that Mowbray is leaving as we are all left with Stephen Gunn. Don't worry about that, that'll all be taken care of. Ian Fulton, good morning to the fellow dandies. A wee bit concerned today with Barron, Richardson and Watkins starting. Our strength in depth will be tested today. John McDonald, hi John, how you doing? We need to stop the long balls, play on the deck and get forward more. Simple, really. Yeah, we have to eradicate the issues that we had last week, which I just felt we were pumping too many balls forward. We kept missing the midfield out. And if we can just get the players on the ball today, because look, you know, Hearts will be reinvigorated after they got a draw last week. They were down to 10 men. They were 2-0 down. They got it back very, very late. So they'll be absolutely at it today. They know what's at stake as well. So, yeah, we just have to go for it today. Absolutely go for it. Fraser Gunn, Good morning, Fraser. Gutted Duke not playing, but have a feeling it might be written in the stars for Marley to rip it up. Hoping Barron ready for a big performance too. Scott W has wished everyone a good morning. Let's hope the boys can get the job done today. It's a decent lineup. Paul Donaldson has wished everyone a good morning. As we thought would happen, Duke is out through injury. Think we'll have to put in a big defensive performance today. Just hope we try and go forward and don't park the bus too much. I completely agree, Paul. David Gold, this is a 6-pointer, a cup final. Into them. Heed first. Daniel Wilkes has wished everyone a good morning. David Quantrill, good morning. Changes look good. A right-footed player on the right was needed. Barron for Duncan, also good, as he didn't do much against Hibs. Lack of pace on the break is a little bit of a worry, though. Yeah, that's an interesting point, David. Daniel Wilkes has come back and said, massive opportunity for Barron and Richardson in particular to show what they can do. Hopefully, Robson has them both drilled and we see improvements from them since Jim Goodwin left. Paul Donaldson, Richardson hopefully better on the right than Coulson was last week. Yeah, I think that's why he's made the changes. Michael Scott has said, cup final day, isn't it? That's how it feels. Come on, you Reds. Graham Clark, hi Graham, how you doing? He's wished everyone a good morning. Huge game. Fingers crossed we're up for it. I read something yesterday that we haven't won at Tynecastle in 7 games. Duke is a huge loss and Hearts will be gunning for us. So, let me just drag in some of the other bits and pieces that I've got for you into the system because I do have some stats for you. So I'll drag that one in first of all. Then I'll drag this in because there was a couple of bits and pieces of news that came out of the football club today. This past week that I want to share with you as well. So let's do that as well. So first we'll do the news. So this is what happened at the football club this week. Great news for Barry Robson. He's been shortlisted for the Manager of the Year award alongside Ange Postecoglou, Stephen Robinson and James McPake. And it was great news for Alfie Bavidge. He agreed a contract extension which will see him stay at the club until 2026. Well done to young Alfie. So, did you know Hearts are unbeaten in their last 8 home league games against us? They've won 5, drawn 3, but they've won both of their last 2. Hearts have lost 6 of their last 8 Scottish Premiership matches. We have to get at them. No player has been involved in more goals in the Scottish Premier this season than Hearts' Lawrence Shankland. 22 goals. We have to keep an eye on him today. Kevin Clancy is the man in the middle. Chris Graham is on VAR. So those are your match stats ahead of today's game. Right, let me clear that. Let me clear this because obviously yesterday, I don't know how many of you saw this doing the rounds on social media. So there was a lot of talk about this yesterday. Did you see it? This picture here. That got leaked online. This is Nicky Devlin, allegedly signing for Aberdeen alongside his agents. And what was really interesting about that was that many people were at the ABTV question and answer session yesterday with Alan Burrows and the chairman. And they confirmed that the deal is done. But they're obviously extremely disappointed that this photograph was leaked online ahead of any announcement that was made. So, I guess all that's left to say is the very warm of welcomes to Nicky Devlin. Okay, let's get back to your comments before we get on to Harold Stavrum. John Milne, good morning, John. Thank you for your comment. Massive one today, and defo feeling the nerves would even take a point. David Gold, a couple of players looking to prove a point in there. Scott W has said, we do have to be at it from kickoff. We have to control the pace of the game early doors. Grab a couple of goals in the first half and we're all good. Steve Anderson has said, I'm nervous about this one. One massive game. Carl Fraser, we certainly need to be up from the ante from last week. I would bite your hand off for a draw. I think that's the issue. I think because it was such a poor performance last week, an unexpected poor performance last week against Hibs. I think that's why we're all so nervous. Dave Sharp, hi Dave. If we escape this game with a draw, I'll be happy. Not convinced by the depth of the squad. Yeah. Gary Milne, can't wait. We will do it. Come on, dandies. Ewan Grant's here. Hi, Ewan. How you doing? Gutted at the hopefully short-term injuries. However, I don't think it changes the fundamentals of the game. First goal is crucial, and we need to win it more than them. I agree. Grey Pilgrim. Hungry players wanting new contracts. Watkins will bring it. Hopefully, Barron and Richardson want to prove a point too. Let's go, Reds. Colin McLean. That extra match suspension of Shinnie could be the worst decision we ever made trying to rescind that card. We were never going to get the red card rescinded anyway. Yeah. Look, it was a calculated gamble that unfortunately didn't pay off, but I completely take your point. Can't be bothered, I said. Time we got a good VAR decision. Time will tell. Chris Skelp. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Everyone, including Hearts, knows that Richardson is a potential weak link. We need to play pushing their wingers back to protect him as much as possible. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of protection needed today, I think, particularly for what we think will be the back three. Do you think we'll play three at the back today? Let me know. Elijah Blocks, good morning. We need to be confident and try to get a draw. No, sorry, mate. Respectfully, I disagree. We need to get a win. That's what we need. Lee Doubles. Hi, Lee. She says, like you, Ali, a bit nervous about today. Sad Duke isn't playing, but reckon Watkins has been decent when called upon. Come on, you Reds. Callum Benzes. Hi, Callum. Given players we have missing, best lineup we can have. Let's get the 3 points by any means. Come on, you Reds. Yeah, I agree. Look, I don't have any issues with the lineup. It's a forced lineup. Daniel Wilkes has said, I would take a replica of last week, to be honest. It then goes on to say, preferably not, but I would take a drab 0-0 if offered right now. Skooska is wishing everybody a good morning. Going to be a big day, he says. Scottish Susie. Hi, Scottish Susie. How are you? Greetings, fellow dandies from Tynecastle. Warm day in Edinburgh and a big game. Come on, you Reds. Right, so we'll get back to more of your comments in just a moment. But first, so when did I catch up with him? Yesterday, I caught up with former Aberdeen striker Harold Stavrum for a brand new Begs Banter interview, which will be coming out this week. And one of the topics we discussed was the 2000 Scottish Cup final against Rangers, where we all know what happened. But what I wanted to know from him is how, within the opening minutes, when you have a game plan, you see your goalkeeper getting seriously injured, he goes off, Robbie Winters comes on, and the game plan goes out of the window. And I asked him, how do you as players cope with that? And this is how he answered it. Harold Stavrum.
I mean, I remember this. I remember really well what happened, because it takes so long time when Jim gets injured there. He's laying down for a long time, and we know it's serious. We know that he has to come off and all that, and it's really serious. But we see that the doctor and everything has control. That it's going to be okay. But we know he has to go off, and we know. And I know the situation there that Abbey has gambled with not having a goalkeeper on the bench. Such the same Rangers did the same.
Yeah.
So it's just a calculated gamble, and it turns wrong. But at that moment, I remember I became so angry. I mean, at that moment, I became so angry. I said, I'm going to win this final alone. And I remember never being as aggressive and as fired up as I was in the next few minutes there. I think I had a dribble where I just went through the whole Rangers defense and almost scored. And I was so fired up, but then Rangers scored, and then they scored again, and then it just like fell through. But my first instinct was, I'm going to kill everybody. I mean, I was so fired up that but it didn't hold. No.
So I'll have that for you early next week. We spoke for about 35 minutes or so. It was a really interesting chat, particularly when I asked him about why he left Aberdeen to sign for Besiktas. So it was a really interesting chat. Really looking forward to bringing that to you this week. Okay, just a little bit of housekeeping. So again, we keep working out that roughly 45% of you that watch the show have not actually subscribed to Ali Beg ABTV. We are now edging ever closer to 3,000 subscribers. So if you would please consider subscribing, it doesn't cost you anything. And as I say, we continue to have big plans. I posted this week just a little bit of a tease about what is going to be coming up on ABTV in the coming months. So please jump on board. We have got so many plans. Okay, let's get back to your comments. I'm absolutely blown away by how many of you on today. It's fantastic. Please, if you enjoy today's show, press that old like button. It just helps me massively. Okay, Rod Cow. Hi, Rod. Got to admit, it's nervous introducing players lacking game time in such an important match. Fingers crossed they give it 100% and prove my nerves are misguided. Kevin Gibb. Hi, Kevin. Tough game today with Duke out. It's like a cup final. Let's hope it's the same result as the 1986 Scottish Cup final. We'll take that all day long, Kevin. Lee Doubles is back saying, not a great record at Tynecastle. Look a bit short on pace today. We need to get the ball down and control the pace of the game. Get into them dandies. Yeah, that's a good point. Control the pace of the game. Good stuff, Lee. Sunshine Coast Subutio, need to get something from the game today. Doesn't even matter how it's played, as long as we get something. Derek Griffiths, good morning, Derek. How are you? Massive, massive game. Feeling nervous today. We'll take a draw and finish it off against the Saints on Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, dearie me. Oh, my nerves are shot to pieces, honestly. Andrew McLeod, Hearts could have been 4-0 down to St Mirren. We have nothing to fear. Andrew, that's a very good point. Because I watched some of their game back, and again, if we can just get at them, just don't let them settle. Because again, it's like what I was talking about with the Hibs game. If we can get into them early and dictate the pace of the play, as what Lee said, we've won half the battle. The problem was last week we allowed Hibs to dictate the pace of the game. So this is where we've got to be really careful today. Simon Royce wished everyone a good morning. Let's just pump them and get third spot secured today. Exactly. We all know what's at stake. The boys know what's at stake. It's massive. Gray Pilgrim, Stavrum is a legend. Honestly, he was fantastic. I really enjoyed talking to him. It was a really good chat. Stephen Morrison, come on you Reds. Have a great day, folks. Let's be positive. He's predicting a 2-0 win to the famous. He goes on to say, stand free. Screw Sky said, Stavrum is a legend. The only man I know that was born offside. Brilliant. Steve M. No Duke, but let's not forget we have Miofsky, star man. Yeah. Can't be bothered has said, come on everyone, subscribe. Don't only get Aberdeen FC banter, but as an added bonus, Bad Boys Inc. are mentioned on occasion. It is a bonus. Graham Findlater has said, have a good feeling about today. We have more than enough in our locker. Believe, lads. Come on, you Reds. Right, how are we doing? We're coming up to 20 minutes. Okay. Sorry, let me get one more in. Graham Clark. Although different players when Majowski and Duke are playing, it's mainly Majowski that holds the ball up and feeds the Duke to score the goals. Marley may be the one to be the feeder to Majowski today. Yes, that's a really good point. Actually, while I'm at it, there were quite a few. A lot of you have already taken your place in the stands today. Scottish Susie has just come on, just text me a picture, so she's already inside the stand. Let me read some of the comments from Facebook, because a lot of you have been commenting on Facebook as well this morning. So Mark James Stephen said, massive, massive effort needed today. Colin Patterson is asking, is McCrory injured? He's still our player for now, I believe. He is injured. Well, he's not injured. He's recovering from a hernia operation, so he had to have surgery. So that's why he's not made it. The game's come too early. Tom Gibson said, massive game. Want the win. Would be happy with a draw. Come on, you Reds. Jamie Davidson said, a draw would be fantastic with that team out there. David Russell said, on paper, it's a decent team. Enrico Totalano has said, we really lack depth. Going to be a very tough afternoon. Kenny Young said, just avoid defeat. Keep the gap. Hopefully, the other two will take care of the other two. So Celtic and Rangers to take care of St Mirren and Hibs. So thank you for posting on Facebook. That's great. Just let me see if there's any more comments have come in on YouTube. David Gold said, Majowski sometimes reminds me of Stavrum. Chris Andrews said, if Barry does not win a last 5-match game, buyer's remorse, hope not panicking. Let's not panic just yet. So if you're, I know a lot of you are going to be watching the game today, but if you're not watching the game, so even though the big Saturday football show comes on what will be with about 20 minutes to go, I'm still going to be coming on the big Saturday football show for the first hour or so. So if you're looking for a sort of totally biased opinion on the game, then tune in. Obviously, my pal and my colleague Ewan Cameron is a big Hearts fan, so no doubt there'll be lots of banter flying about today. So if you do fancy it, come and join us on the big Saturday football show on North Sound between 2 and 6. Graham Clark has said, as Barry said last week, if we get to the point where we know we can't win, make sure we do not lose. Yeah, it's a very good point, Graham. That was what I was really impressed with Barry last week when he came out and he said, look, we can't play well every single game. We just have to accept that. He knows they didn't play well last week. He knows where the weaknesses were. And he also knows if we can't win the game, just don't lose it. I've got every faith, like you guys do, in the way that we've been defending recently. And, last week, it's another clean sheet. Kelly Roos has been absolutely outstanding in these past few games. So it's going to be a big game for them. Elijah Block said, heard Graham Shinnie is back for St Mirren game, so we should have a strong squad for that game. Yeah, he will be. Leona Dunbar, massive game. Let's see Barron starting to show his form and ability again. We know he has the talent. We need to see it today. Grey Pilgrim said, in Kelly, we trust. Right, guys, I think we'll just keep it short and sweet because obviously the game is fast approaching. If you're just joining us, just let me quickly remind you of the team. There it is. So we had to make 3 changes. Connor Barron, Marley Watkins and Jaden Richardson come in. Duke out with injury. Hayden Coulson and Ryan Duncan, they miss out. That is your starting 11 for today's game. Right, guys, so we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock with the review show. So all that's left to say is, come on, lads. You know what's at stake. 3 points. You're there. 3rd place secured. The worst case scenario, we go into a Conference League playoff. Best case scenario, Celtic win the Scottish Cup. We go into a Europa League playoff spot. And then who knows where we could go. It's massive. Come on, lads. Show us what you can do. If you're heading to Tynecastle still, safe journeys. Enjoy the game. See you tomorrow. Stand free. Bye, guys.